Welcome, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. We just fought some spiders here, and their leader lady, sorcerer lady. So we need to just kind of finish checking out this area and then deal with some death's door issues we have. Probably go ahead and camp before we leave here. Maybe you should do that even before we go poking around here too much.
Patience.
State your desire.
Where to now?
What you want.
I wrote it like I thought.
Yeah, we might as well
Ready.
make camp here before we get going. We haven't been very successful the last couple of times with our camouflage and cooking. Let's use... are we out of rations? It might be. I can't remember if we used those up. She's going to try to cook some haggis. It's just the +1 bonus on saving throws. I guess the check on that is a little bit less. Otherwise, like hearty meal is the same and we don't have to use our ingredients, but maybe there's a little bit less chance that we're going to actually succeed. Let's see what happens.
Tell me, Ragonga, how does Octavia, with her noble elven blood, put up with?
Another word, and I'll rip your head off.
Okay. We've been not as good on the camping since we don't have Octavia with us. So he's still at death's door. So when does that go away? So we need to use Greater Restoration or visit a healer. So we need to head back to the capital. Got it. Oops. Let's get everybody going here. We didn't really loot anything off of those spiders. See if there's anything else in this area.
No stopping now. Onwards.
So this curse that we've got coming. Okay, so that must be it. There wasn't anything here to loot. So let's head back to Tuskdale. I think that, I forget her name, starts with an A. Honoria or something. I think she's a healer. I don't know if like Tristian counts or Jod. Let's go here. I think we'll take a look too at our kingdom responsibilities. This Arsino. Let's check with her. So can she just do it, or we have to buy restoration? Said we need greater restoration. So let's go ahead and talk to her about some of these things that we haven't. Tell me about Abadar. With pleasure. Abadar is the god of cities, law, merchants, and wealth. The core of his teachings is simple. Law and order allows civilization to develop, which allows people to live in peace and prosperity. If Era still favors old customs, small settlements, and simple trades like hunting, then Abadar patronizes development, complex trades, order, and entrepreneurship. Each priest of Abadar finds something personal in serving him. Some believe that law is the main aspect of their faith and they guard it zealously. Others put the well-being of their society above all. I personally follow Abadar's teachings that say civilization must penetrate the wildest, savage lands and help people live in comfort and safety. You are an Aasimar, if I'm not mistaken? I suppose it's easy to tell, isn't it? Yes, I'm an Aasimar. Though I'm not sure how or when the blood of Celestials appeared to my family. Among all my relatives and known ancestors, I'm the only one who inherited it. I must admit, I'm glad this lot fell to me. It draws more attention to me, a useful trait for a priest who wishes to gather a congregation. How did you get here? That's a long story and not a terribly exciting one. I was born and raised in Absalom, but I saw little point in staying there. What's the purpose in promoting the faith of Abadar in a city already so large and well developed? No, I was drawn to backwater places where civilization was just beginning to emerge. It gives me such joy to see the first stones of a new settlement being laid, or to see wilderness that once harbored monsters and criminals become a safe, cozy home for people. I've devoted my life to my travels, choosing to visit places like your barony. Allow me to say it's a place after my own heart. A city growing over the remains of a bandit lord's lair is exactly the sort of triumph of civilization Abadar prescribes. I hope my skills as a priest will be of service to these lands, and their denizens. If you're so eager to help, why do you charge? It's part of Abadar's philosophy. The rules of trade and exchange developed for a reason. They help bring order to our world, and they mustn't be broken without need. The opportunity to get what one desires for no effort has a corrupting effect on souls. Okay. Can you heal us of this condition, though? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. They're quite useful. You have to have somebody that can read them. It doesn't appear that she has what we need. Feels like she charges a lot more for these. Maybe I just don't remember right. I feel like Jod or... Yeah, I think it was Jod had these for like 6,000. And he gave us a discount. Didn't remember it being that much though. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to buy some of these, but I don't think they'll cure this particular condition. So... I forget who Highland... They were like the captain of the guard or something. There's Jod. I don't think we've talked to Jod since we've been here. Let's go check in with him. Okay, he and Tristian are over here.
How may I serve you, your grace?
Can you heal us? Okay, his are 12,000. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. I guess we can try this, the Scroll of Restoration. It's not greater restoration, though. Do we want to stock up on anything while we're here? It probably just wouldn't hurt to have some more of these. Guess let's just try one of these and see. Like, Harem should be able to use this. I think that... Well... It might, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. We got rid of our dexterity penalty there. Can we help Ragongar with his? There we go. Okay, so still have a problem there. We haven't talked much to Tristian. Since we're here, let's visit with him. What can you tell us about Sarenrae? Sarenrae is the goddess of temperance and patience. Solar Flame Goddess teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy to those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? She isn't worth a damn. I'd like to hear about the history of your faith. There's much to tell, but I'm afraid I would miss the mark, and I fear I would bore you. Is there something specific you wish to know? How did Sarenrae come to be? Sarenrae is one of Golarian's eldest deities. Once she was an angel that had gathered the armies of her celestial allies behind her. The battle in which she showed her valor decided the fate of a whole world, and in her victory, she was rewarded with divinity. In the sacred texts, Sarenrae is shown as a beautiful bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. But her appearance is not what matters. It is the grace she brings with her touch, healing and salvation. Tell me about this battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor of Sarenrae? Her greatest moment of glory is her battle against the monstrous Rovagug, who threatened to destroy Golarion. Rovagug, imprisoned since the age of creation, the god Rovagug, also known as the Rough Beast, the great destroyer and the world breaker, seeks only to destroy creation and the other gods. Believed to be imprisoned in a state of torpor somewhere deep within Golarion, his increasingly restless stirrings are taken by many to be the cause of volcanic activity and earthquakes. His worshippers are known for embodying the god's dominion over destruction, disaster, and wrath. Sarenrae delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth, and the gods threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world and their followers. I, for one, pray the goddess is never again as furious as she was with Gormuz. So Gormuz, misinterpreting their goddess's warnings to avoid its location, instead believing Gormuz to be a holy city of Sarenrae, people from all over Khazmaran flocked there for millennia, but were slowly corrupted by the imprisoned god Rovagug's dreams. Sarenrae continued sending portents and visions to her faithful in Gormuz during this period, but they were ignored or misinterpreted. She finally sent her herald Kohal to the people of Gormuz in -3923 AR, but they had been so corrupted that they destroyed him instead. In an act of great wrath, Sarenrae smote Gormuz with her scimitar, destroying it completely, and creating an enormous rent in the earth that eventually became known as the Pit of Gormuz. From this great chasm have emerged some of the most powerful and destructive creatures in the world's history, known collectively as the spawn of Rovagug. You've mentioned Gormuz. What happened to it? An error of faith, perhaps a lesson, but it speaks of the danger when one listens to mortal words and one stops listening to their faith. Sarenrae forbade her followers from coming near the place of Rovagug's imprisonment, but some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach on a sacred place, where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were to be constructed. The people listened to these sermons and went forth to the lands touched by Sarenrae's scimitar. On the scar that sealed the well, they founded Gormuz, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Sarenrae. Unsurprisingly, after the city was built, faithful from all Golarion traveled there to worship. Sarenrae sent omens and visions, urging her followers to leave this dangerous place filled with the dark will of the shackled Rovagug. But in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Rovagug's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Gormuz, razing it from the face of Golarion with a single strike of her scimitar. Today is called the Pit of Gormuz, a well of pain and suffering. Tell us about the Pit of Gormuz. It's a great crevice in eastern Khazmaran. The lands surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The Pit of Gormuz seems bottomless, until someone dares to gaze into its depths. All who have dared tell of a strange distant glow, a glow that followed them in their dreams ever since. Throughout all of history, the Pit of Gormuz has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power and driven by only a single desire, to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulanat, whose carapace to this day towers above the capital of Osirion. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. The most terrible of them all was the Tuskdale, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant deep beneath Avestan. Have wars been waged in Sarenrae's name? Alas, yes, terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nethys, Norgrbur, and Sarenrae in the lands now known as Rahadam. To my shame, I must admit that this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for the goddess's light with sword and fire. That calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led the inheritors of Rahadam to deny all gods, banning all faiths from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure faith may be distorted by blind ambition, and great suffering may occur in its name. Okay. Well, go ahead and tell us about the teachings of Sarenrae. Solar Flame Goddess is the light of salvation, even to those who have been forsaken by the other gods. She teaches us mercy and forgiveness, for as long as they may be useful to a soul's salvation. Is there anybody that's undeserving of mercy? Undeserving of mercy, would even Sarenrae herself find the compassion to forgive me? So he's thinking of somebody. Forgive me, your words, they are not easy ones to reconcile, and even priests such as I, we debate them to this day. What is the point at which a soul is irredeemable, or is it a failing of the priest themselves? These are difficult questions you ask, questions wise men have debated for centuries. Does a being that has been tainted by evil to its very roots, that rejects its own salvation, still deserve compassion? Can those compelled to do evil by others still seek forgiveness? There is no easy answers on these issues among Sarenrae's followers. As for me, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goodness within. No matter the crime, the guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led to the deed. I believe this with all my heart. Yeah, that's a pretty abstract theory. Sometimes real life is a little bit more complicated. Cannot argue with this, and nevertheless, I'll keep to my opinion. What are your duties? My goddess strives to see the best even in the dark gods. She never abandons the hope of their redemption. The priests of Sarenrae follow her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. We aid the suffering in body and spirit throughout Golarion. The priests of Sarenrae are willing to help anyone, no matter the faith of the one in need. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing for the harvest, or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes the mercy of Solar Flame Goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from the truly repentant. You make it sound like the followers of Sarenrae will try to find good even in a bandit with a knife to their throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Deo. One hand of Sarenrae is shrouded in healing light, the other holds a scimitar. Following their goddess, the priests learn to wield this weapon starting in childhood, and they do not hesitate to use it if a dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Sarenrae preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinite. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess's retribution. How do you worship Sarenrae? Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis. But even those who do not serve the goddess directly rarely shun the festivities dedicated to her. The Sun-Rot Festival, for one. What are the temples of Sarenrae like? Sarenrae's shrines are often open to the sky and to the goddess' life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple and shrouds the parish in warmth and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kelesh, crowds gather during the services so that all may feel the blessing of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Sarenrae which housed a complicated array of mirrors, all to direct the light of the sun to the altar. Tell me of the Everlight Oasis. I have never been there, but the stories say it is a wondrous place, sacred to Sarenrae's faithful. The oasis is located in Zeljabar, which lies in Kazmaran. Pilgrims from throughout Golarion travel there, seeking the goddess's blessing. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Tristian smiles in thought. Just imagine, a place where people from all around the world come to gather to worship. What stories they must share. What is the Sun-Rot Festival? The Sun-Rot Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of her flock can reach Sarenrae the easiest. On this day, Kelesh blooms with color. In each corner of the Padishah Empire, the people praise their goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks and flying kites. I hope this beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well. Okay, we're not going to say this. Okay. We'll visit with you again later, I'm sure. So maybe we can't deal with our death's door issue here. Wonder why our people don't show up on here anymore either.
March on.
Don't think we had any other clerics here. Maybe someone else sells a greater restoration scroll.
No stopping now.
Let's see. Check in at our table. Okay. Event, difficulty, and roles. Every event has a difficulty level. To resolve the event successfully, the advisor must roll a number higher than the difficulty level of the event. The advisor's post ability is added to the dice roll. The barony stat the advisor is responsible for adds another 2 points per rank to every roll. For example, Valerie as a regent with the population stat grants a +2 bonus for her high charisma. Population stat rank is 1, so it gives another +2 bonus. If Valerie is put in charge of an event, her dice roll would have an overall bonus of +4 points. +2 for charisma, and +1 or +2 from population stat. Where do we see the population stat? All right, we have this troll invasion. I'm not sure yet what the different colors here mean on stuff. The rumors surrounding the Bald Hilltop proved true. The barony has been flooded with monstrous spiders attacking the locals and slaughtering the cattle. Reports indicate that the huge arachnids spread a ghastly disease that weakens the victim with fever and coats their body with blisters. This invasion has to be stopped before panic and infection ravage the stolen lands. Does that mean it's resolved? What's this one? In the name of the law, a group of volunteers have arrived from Brevoy. They are looking to help bring order to these lands. Their people would make a welcome reinforcement for the guards if they could be persuaded to join the ranks. So Tristian could do this. This looks new too, isn't it? News has arrived from the largest observatory in the Five Kings Mountains. The enchanted lens of their main telescope broke. The destruction of such a powerful artifact caused a gust of enchanted wind, which is now moving towards the region of the barony. You should seize this opportunity. Harim could handle that. Was this the one earlier that he was the only one that could do it? But he was busy with something else. So these things that require an advisor, these don't start running the clock because the advisor's doing it, not us. But, well, the things that we have to do ourselves are the ones that start the clock, if I understand. So we could test it with this one. Like if we put an advisor in here. I guess this means completed over here. Like we can't see the title, but these, I mean, we did that. There we go. Yeah, completed. Let's check in with our 2 towns we've got started here. See what we can build here in Tuskdale. Got a tavern, or longhouse, and a barracks. We're not doing anything with arcane or espionage so far. There was something. Alright, so if we would have put the tavern next to the barracks, we would have got some espionage. But instead, we put it next to the longhouse for the relations. We added a brewery. We get a +1 to stability. Seems like a good one to stay on top of. What did I just say? A brewery? Yeah. Dance hall gives loyalty and culture. Could go ahead with the watchtower. That would get some espionage going. And then when we do add a brewery, we get +1 to loyalty. Actually, we've got a lot of build points. I guess we could probably go ahead and do both of those things. Drop that in here. And then let's go up here to trade guard. All we've got here so far is Bakken's shop. We've got to put a longhouse in here. That gets a bonus next to a longhouse. Let's go ahead and put our longhouse in right here. See, it also gets bonus next to a tavern. Every town needs a tavern. Let's go ahead and drop that in. Oh yeah, so by purchasing build points, you can actually use our gold to purchase those. I see. The cost go up, or is it 80 all the time? Because it's 80. $80 gold per build point. So that probably is a pretty good use of gold. Especially once maybe we start building up more of an inventory of things that we've found. We won't have to spend as much on buying scrolls and things. The wooden wall, it says it affects watchtower. The watchtower gives +1 stability when we also have walls. Maybe it's a good idea to go ahead and get a watchtower going. We could go ahead with walls in both. Let's go back to Tuskdale and build a wall there too. Okay. All right, now any of these projects that we need to start, now we aren't going to have enough BP unless we buy some. I'm interested in this one. Is there anything that's like more pressing? Probably should be working on rebuilding or pillaging the Temple of the Elk. I don't feel great about pillaging it, I guess. Right, then he wants us to spread the stag god's faith. These we don't have an advisor for. Okay. So let's put Haram on researching Davik Nettle. We're gonna have to buy some BP. Is it just not refresh? There we go. Okay, so now, yeah, if we start this, I guess we'll see. Okay, so he's working on that now for the next several weeks. All right. Well, we didn't find our healer. So either we're not looking in the right place, or they're not here yet. Anything we want to store? Just hang on to this light crossbow. And this sword, I don't know. Probably won't need either of those, but I was gonna just for kicks give Lindsay this, well, I was thinking this punching dagger instead of this other dagger she has. We've also got this armor hanging on to, I guess. We'll drop it in there. Okay, well, I'm not sure about Death's Door. Visiting a healer at the capital. Let's do one more look around. Tristian, he doesn't do any healing. It's our storyteller.
Stopping now.
Guess we could check out the tavern. There's an Oriole. I am wanting to respec my main character at some point here fairly soon, I think. Heard any rumors? Lately everyone's been talking about the tower at Candlemere. They say lights were dancing around it like a busy cook's stove. Everyone who saw it says different things. Some witnessed a dragon and some glowing hamsters crawling from the lake. They're probably all lying, but the place is definitely spooky and mysterious. You got any, like, good healing treats? Oh, we do need some camping supplies. Let's get that. Got a cleric hiding back here in the kitchen. Nope. Check upstairs. Jathel's hiding out up here. These are all locked. Nope, that one's not. Diamond Dust, Chronicles of Blades. I think I'm going to have an episode probably where I read all the books I've picked up. My voice is starting to feel back to where I can read stuff for a while without having a terrible coughing attack. Got some armor here. It's just some basic hide armor, it looks like. Better sell that or it's just going to weigh us down.
March on.
Okay. I'm going to make one more lap around the main square and see if there's somebody that we're missing. Is that the icon for the tavern? Must be. I mean, I don't think... I guess we haven't looked in every house. We already talked to Jod about it. We bought
How may I serve
a scroll from
your
him.
grace?
Is there something here I'm missing? Did we used a bunch of restoration scrolls. Let's get a few more. I mean, I guess, well, no, it won't work with him. I was going to say worst case, we could actually die and use a resurrection scroll, but we can't do that with our main character.
No stopping now.
Let's go back here to the center of town. Just check with these merchants again.
Follow me.
Zarcy sells scrolls and things. Guess we haven't talked to her much yet. Who are you? Zarcy the Letter Gobbler, at your service. Best spells, charms, jinxes, and hexes for the best baron across all the river kingdoms. Buy it all and don't be stingy. You won't regret it. Where'd you get this stuff from? It's a family business. I've got siblings across all Mendev. They pinch every... I mean, they're very creative suppliers. And I sell it all. Get it now. Don't hesitate. My goodies are great. Alright, show us what you got. Kind of only in the market for one specific thing right now. I don't see it. And by capital, I'm assuming it means Tuskdale. Not the capital. It's not like back at Restov. Passive. What's the secret of your success? There's no secret. Perseverance, strength of character, attention to detail, the gift of persuasion, charm, all this among many other things are key to success in my profession. But if I did have a secret, who would I be to share it with anyone? Tell me about yourself. My pleasure, Your Grace. The merchant smooths his mustache and commences his story with an air of importance, speaking in a sonorous voice, gesturing wildly. Hassef's family was not rich. He's going to talk about himself in the third person. And he, as many in Absalom, had to start from the very bottom. As a child, while his peers chased pigeons and stole apples at the market, he worked at a tannery. Oh, I can still smell this disgusting stench. Ahem. Well, the young apprentice worked hard, saved every coin, and soon managed to purchase that tannery from his former master. Then, as soon as he had enough money, he opened his own trading agency. After 10 years, countless deals, and many tours in his caravan, Hassef was one of the most successful merchants in Absalom, thus writing his name indelibly in the history of the great city. Well, how was that? I'm looking for a writer so I can dictate my memories. Well, Lindsay might be interested. I think many would find it interesting and useful to learn more about me. Why'd you leave Absalom, the center of global trade for some young barony in the Stolen Lands? This is a long story. I don't think Your Grace would be interested. Come on, tell us. Very well, as you wish. It was about a woman. When I was still young, I fell in love with the daughter of a judge, an important person in Absalom. For many years, I tried to win her heart, but she was cold as stone. I should have given up, but this is not in my character. In the end, I did manage to win her love, but I was unready for it. As Abadar is my witness, the flames of hell burn inside this woman. I could not live with her for even 6 months. Tenderness and passion one day, screaming and scandal the next. Sometimes she would break into my office during business meetings to make a jealous scene, and sometimes pulled me by my collar from the finest taverns in town. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous all the time, and it started to affect my business. I realized there was nothing else to do but run. Leaving her and remaining in the city would be impossible, even in such a city as Absalom. I decided never to return, and I still fear that wildcat of a woman will follow my trail. Although sometimes, after a couple jars of wine, I still remember her. Perhaps it was I who unleashed this tornado in her, if somehow I'd behaved differently. That's quite a story. Verdal? Don't think you got what we are looking for. No. We already tried Arsino. She has the same stuff as Jod. Only she charges more. Look in here again. I think this is just empty building. All right. I don't think I've tried in here. Yeah, maybe I have been in here. This one. Don't mind me. I'll clear out your treasure chests.
Onwards.
Okay, well, we're not finding a healer here, so either we're blind or they're not here. I guess we'll go about our business and check back here later. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I know there was quite a bit of dialogue with people here, but I like talking to folks and learning about their stories. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.